Hello everyone, it's
Hi,
Lucy.
I'm Isabel. I'm from Cal State East Bay, and I'm actually happy to be talking with you in Survivor Alliance.
Yeah, so we're here doing day 11 of the 21 days of self-care. And today this whole week we're talking about how self-care affects you and your community. And today we're talking about how it can affect your friendships. So we have Isabel here. She's going to tell us a little bit about her experience with how taking care of herself has affected her friendships and just how we're trying to really change the way we hang out with people too.
For me, as a survivor as well, I just remembered basically putting myself into those negative environments because I felt like I had to deserve that, because I used to always self-inflict myself. And I realized that when I decided to change the way I thought about myself, everything else that factored with friendships and family relationships started changing. I started to dress how I feel. I started to eat how I feel. And that played a big role in my confidence. So when I was confident and it produced more of a motivation and my thoughts and energy started colliding together, I felt like people that I used to have issues with and old friends or ex-friends started coming back into my life because of a different mentality that I had. And maybe my whole energy was more open, and I was able to mend relationships and scenarios and situations that I had in the past, which was able for me to move forward, because I feel like as a survivor, it's all about forgiveness, you know? So once you play that power of forgiveness, everything else starts to collide together on its own and naturally. Sometimes I would go meet people that I haven't seen in a long time, and they would tell me, "Oh, I didn't like how you didn't say hi to me or treated me like that." And I had no idea that I was actually rude. I had no idea that I was affecting them negatively, because I felt the way I was, that mentality of being negative and just victimizing myself, and just it puts the energy on hold. And I think that you do affect the whole environment around you. I believe that using the power of all these emotions is the same way as I guess how people portray yourself too, I guess. And then it also affects you career-wise and family-wise too. I just think once I grounded myself and got myself better, whether it's eating good and dressing better, I started mending more,
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for sharing. And we were also talking about how once we started taking care of ourselves, we were able to identify the healthy relationships and the unhealthy ones. It was a lot easier to see the friends that I really cared about and wanted to continue hanging out with versus the ones where I was like, I don't know if where I'm at now is where our friendship was before.
Right. And also you start to pick people of your own higher standards because you start to see yourself as more of a higher standard. So I started to have the confidence to want to, if I wanted to be around artists and people that have more of a challenge for me to grow and have a growing mindset, I'm going to have the motivation, because I felt good about myself, to surround myself with those people. And then I started to just gain more positive influences in my life. And that's what we need. Challenge yourself, challenge the growing mindset that everybody has, I think, because at the end of the day, if you cut me, I'll bleed blood. If I cut you, you bleed blood. I think it's all about mind over perception.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I really like how you're saying that, some phrase that's really stayed with me is that you're the sum of all of your friendships, you're the average of them. And so you have the friends that are that are challenging you and that make you want to push yourself harder because you want to be on their level. And then you have the friends that maybe you feel like you've advanced a little bit past that and you are the average of all of that. And so who you hang out with and the relationships that you maintain in your life definitely affects yourself. And then when you change yourself, it can have a ripple effect within your community as well.
Of course. Energies don't lie,
Yeah. And did you want to share some of the self-care tips that you use?
One is I wake up and I go to the mirror and I tell myself I have the power to have a good day. You start with that. You start within yourself. I feel like you have the power to do anything. That I start with that, and then I start with making my bed. First of all, I start making my bed. I start fixing my where I come every day to sleep and come to ground and lay my head, my cave, start fixing that, and then that just lifts me up every day, you know? Like, it lifts me up. And then use the power of love, basically, with every situation. If you encounter somebody or a friend or somebody that's a friend of you and they say the wrong things or it's just bad timing, always choose the situation with the power of love. I choose love today. I choose love today. I choose love today, because that energy will honestly have a ripple effect with everything else. So I just use the power of words, basically. Power is a powerful word. Love is a powerful word. It's telling yourself, I'm going to have a good day, is a powerful thing. It changes your whole quantum physics of the future, I feel, you know?
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Isabel is a dope person, and I feel like we're probably going to feature her many more times. She's working on this amazing project, coming up with food plans for people, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about is how we just recently became friends. And it's because we both have this mentality of we want to change the way of how we're hanging out with people. So previously, I really like to smoke and chill. Honestly, that's my jam with the homies. But it's just, you get stuck a lot of times. And so we're talking about how we can change the way that we hang out with people so that we are practicing self-care while talking with our friends and catching up. And so one example of that would be we can go on a hike together. And so we're moving our bodies, we're getting some energy out, and then we're also talking. I think talking about things that are going on in your life is a really good form of self-care, because it allows you to release a lot of the toxins that may be holding you back. And kind of have this sounding board where somebody can be lifting you up, and when they're walking with you and in this healthy mindset, they're going to be much more engaged and responsive in the conversation than if I were smoking or chilling or drinking with my friends. And just cooking meals together. There's a bunch of different ways that you can practice self-care while still hanging out with your friends that are going to uplift your friendship and move them even further.
Exactly. I really strongly believe when you already have a self-inflicted image of yourself, you are who you hang out with. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that if someone told me, if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires. If you want to be an artist, hang out with artists, you know. Mm-hmm. But if you want to be stuck and you want to have be into I guess a negative mentality, you're going to surround yourself with that. And that's everywhere. So I guess it's more of mindfulness of who you surround yourself with, because it's just more than physical, I think, body. You know, I think our body is just a vessel of who we are. And it just depends on the environment you're in.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Isabel. I really love hearing everything you have to say, and I think you really dropped some knowledge. I liked hearing your self-care method of just empowering yourself every morning and fixing up your little grounding area. That's really dope.
Definitely.
So thank you all for tuning in on day 11 of the 21 days of going live. Thank you again,
Thank
Isabel.
you so much, and thank you guys. I think you guys should stay lifted.
Yes.
Stay up, and things always get better. And just FYI, it's okay to not be okay. Just so you know, it's okay to show that vulnerability. So I support this and this alliance, and I hope we can move forward. Transition.
Definitely. Thank you. And if you have any suggestions of how you maybe incorporate self-care with your friendships, or just different things that you really liked, you can comment below. Tell us what you really liked, what you think that we could give some more tips about. And we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a great evening.